We're going to be using ChatGPT to see if we can cheat our way through LeetCode. If we get stuck, we may even go over to the OpenAI playground. LeetCode is a popular website for developers to put their skills to the test. By solving problems on LeetCode, they can show off what they know to other developers, as LeetCode is a credible source. So if somebody's solved a lot of problems there, it means they're pretty good at what they do. We're going to test ChatGPT and see if it's capable of completing these LeetCode challenges. Let's start with this first one. So what we want to do is make a convertible program that's able to take a Roman numeral and give you an integer, because Roman numerals don't really make any sense anyway, right? So we took the important part here. We don't need the explanation. We just need the task, which is right here. Give it a Roman numeral, convert it to an integer. So I added that, and I gave it the code that it had on the left here, or the right. We can copy this code here. All right, we're on LeetCode problem number 1. It's a two-sum problem. I would not be able to solve this on my own without at least a lot of Googling. But by copying this solution and the prompt and pasting it into a new chat with ChatGPT, we were able to get a solution that we'll test in a minute. I wrote this prompt up here. We wanted to solve the problem in a solution class like this, and copy and pasted this solution class that LeetCode gave us. Then I copy and pasted all of this code, pasted it in after the part that contains the solution class. I hadn't even realized we were coding in C++. We were using Python previously for the entire channel, and this didn't seem so different to me, but now that they mention it, there are some weird brackets going on here, and I didn't see any app equals main or anything, so we'll copy this code in C++ and see if the first C++ code we make is any good. The problem was accepted, which is great. I don't even know how it works, but we can see that there's some kind of map function here. It's got vectors. I guess that was in the starting code, but let's move on to number 2 and see if we can figure it out. You're given 2 non-empty linked lists. The digits are stored in reverse order. You know, I'm not even going to read this. I'm just going to copy this in here and say we did the same thing, solve the problem with the solution class, within the solution class. Before we said in the solution class, this time we said within. Hopefully it still works. We got it right so far. It mentioned C++ again, which is good. Well, we got the code. Now we just paste it in and click submit. Wow, if ChatGPT is able to complete all these LeetCode problems, is it still a valid resource for hiring? This seems like a great challenge for ChatGPT just because the description is so clear. LeetCode obviously gives enough information to make the code. That's why people are able to do it. And that's exactly the kind of situation that ChatGPT thrives in. It understands it needs to create the code in this class like we specified, has very specific examples here. It has constraints. Let's see how long we can take this until we get one that goes wrong. Number 3 in a row. Let's go on to number 4. This one is rated hard. Hopefully it fails here and coders don't have to worry about their jobs. Oops, I pressed enter. There's no way it's going to have the solution, right? We may as well test this. We won't hold it against ChatGPT if it gets it wrong. We didn't even explain the problem. This is a lot of code considering that ChatGPT doesn't understand what we're trying to solve here. I'm perplexed. If this works, I'll be even more surprised. That's preposterous. That was supposed to be a hard challenge, and we didn't even put the instructions in. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't expect that to work again, but let's just see. It's crazy. I pressed enter by mistake, and we got an answer to a hard problem that was correct. This is a medium problem, Given the string S, what is palindromic? Palindromic. Oh, it's when it goes back and forth, like race car spelled the same forward and backwards. A palindrome. Longest palindrome. This is incredible. This solution uses a brute force approach. It checks for palindromes around each character in the string. Uses expand around center function to check for palindromes with odd and even lengths. That makes sense. I mean, that's really nuanced for this problem. I wonder where ChatGPT is getting the information to solve these. Is there a book somewhere that has all of these solutions where it's just able to easily copy and paste or something? I mean, I know ChatGPT isn't copying and pasting. It's generating original content that it says you have ownership of. But this is just ridiculous. They say if you can solve 150 LeetCode problems, you can get a elite coding job. And that just seems like it's obsolete at this point. Unless there's some way to differentiate whether or not somebody's using a tool like this to complete their code. PayPal is hiring. It's written in a zigzag pattern on a given number of rows like this. Pay is hiring. That doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, there's no chance. I have no idea what's going on in these instructions, and all it says here is convert string int number rows. There is no way it's going to get this right. Okay, finally, we're on problem number 6, zigzag conversion, and we came across something that OpenAI with ChatGPT isn't able to solve with just the class solution. Now, let's go back to the strategy we were doing before and actually explain the problem. The issue here is this is on different rows. This could be extremely challenging for ChatGPT to interpret because all of these have spaces which add tokens. Let's see what happens. Run it. See, this is only supposed to be 3 in a row on top of each other. This has a thumbs down from the vast majority of people. That's an interesting thing to note. Maybe that means it's poorly rated or impossible. I doubt it's impossible. Of course it's not impossible. ChatGPT just did it. So whoever was thumbs downing that, this is a free software you could check out. I don't know if it really is creating the solutions LeetCode intended. I'm certainly not really learning anything through this process. I can't even really figure out the issues, the problems they're trying to have us solve, but we're getting through them on LeetCode with no problem. Another one solved without putting the prompt in. I hope I get flagged as a cheater or something. A toy. What could that possibly be? Converts a string into a 30-bit signed integer. Okay, this is reasonable that ChatGPT would know what a toy is. I don't know what a toy is, so I really have no idea what's happening, but let's say the input's 42, the output would be 42. No characters read because there's no leading white space. Okay, so it just eliminates the words and returns an integer. That's the only thing I understand from those examples it gave. ChatGPT didn't get to read the examples. It only had the solution class, but okay, we got a runtime error here. Let's give ChatGPT another chance, and we'll give it the prompt this time. Maybe it can make some sense out of these examples. Runtime error again. Interesting. Let's copy and paste this error in. This is the first time ChatGPT didn't get the solution right with the solution class and the input. But now we've put the error in. So it's on life 3, let's say. Okay, 3 strikes and you're out. It made it through 8 problems. The first 7 got through no issues at all. But this 8th one, string to integer, really gave ChatGPT a run for its money. It's also the most disliked to like ratio of the other challenges we did. But, you know, I don't think that that's really a big deal. I really wish ChatGPT could have handled it, but I'm proud of the ones it did get through. So we'll continue this series. If you guys like this, let me know in the comments below if you want to see more videos like this. Maybe this is boring and I should go back to making apps. I don't think that I'm learning as much this way, but maybe from a professional's coder's perspective, which I know nothing about, it could be funny to see a beginner like me getting through these pretty challenging problems with no effort using ChatGPT. For all that and more, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.